Okay, so I'm going to try and make this video as quickly as I can. A bit stressed at the moment. I can't afford to get stressed, so I need to make this, get it over and done with. So I'm over 3 weeks now waiting for a phone call back from the hospital consultant to say that they are okay to up my medication, which is obviously not happening. Yesterday was the final day. The day before yesterday, I got a phone call from the ANP. I had spoken to my GP the day before yesterday. Let me be clear. Today is Thursday, the 11th of April, and yesterday being the 10th, Wednesday, the 10th of April, was the final day. The ANP on Tuesday the 9th had said, give me one more day, and that was the day that I had spoken to the ANP on the phone. She had phoned me back after my GP had sent an email saying Ethna has tested the higher dose of topiramate and it has worked for her. Can consideration be made to give her a slightly higher dose? Okay, so and that was 3 weeks after I had started begging for them to look at a higher dose for me. So this is the drug that I am asking for. I've been on topiramate, Topamax, 100 milligrams. I'm on 100 milligrams twice a day. I started on 25 once a day, and I gradually went up. Every 2 weeks, I went up to 25 twice a day, and then 25 once a day, then 25 twice a day. I have the original prescription, which I can add into the comments after this. So you go up by 25 milligrams every fortnight. And basically I have landed on 100 in the morning and 100 in the evening. So I'm on 200 milligrams a day. That's the highest that they will go for headaches. But for other conditions, the highest dose is 400 milligrams per day for different conditions, but the cap is 200 milligrams for headaches. But since I went on this particular drug, so since beginning topiramate in October, the electrical zaps that I get, peripheral neuropathy, where my leg jumps, and I mean, it can come up this much, like over a foot. The electrical zaps that I get, which are painful, it's a horrible feeling, they've stopped. I had developed guttate psoriasis. All of these symptoms that I'm describing are since I had the one AstraZeneca injection on the 18th of May 2021, and I will put a photograph of this in the comments after I post this video. So since the 18th of May 2021, all of these symptoms began, and when I took topiramate, all of these things went away. So the first one, electrical zaps, peripheral neuropathy in my legs. I do get a bit in my hands as well, but it's mostly my legs and nearly all my left leg, which is the side I got the injection on. The guttate psoriasis that I'd gotten, which is little dots, it's not like ordinary psoriasis, it's little spots all over. That has stopped. I have a referral for rheumatoid arthritis to have that looked at, early onset. That has stopped. I had been overheating all over my whole body to the point where I was using a fan constantly. I had to wear the lightest clothes I could wear because I was permanently feeling like my whole body was on fire. Couldn't describe what that is like. That has stopped. I've been feeling lovely and cool. It's gorgeous. That has stopped. My feet would go so red, you couldn't ever describe that. and burning, absolutely burning, where you have to sometimes just put them in cold water, freezing cold water. That has stopped. The black eyes that I get is called ecchymosis. That has stopped. Trigeminal neuralgia, where you get a shooting pain down the side of your face. The pain in the jaw is so sore, and it's actually usually on this side, but it can sometimes come across into this side as well. And sometimes it shoots, and sometimes it's just an ache right into the jaw. It comes right across and right as far as here. That's stopped. The IBS symptoms completely gone. Like a squelching sound in my neck and right up my brain, and if I moved my neck at all, this squelching sound. And if I pressed my head, like the fluid squelching all around and all down my spine, that's gone. It was sound and sensation of the squelching going around, and that had come back when the inflammation started up, when my dose was too low. Noxecusis, which is hyperacusis with pain, so noise, like there's a little dog around the back, the noise, he has a really high-pitched bark, agony, absolute agony. A spoon on a plate, agony. Some people's voices are laughing or whatever, babies, just certain tones. And I go to 10 out of 10 pain on a sound. That had pretty much completely stopped. All of a sudden I'm going, that's not hurting, that had gone. I'd still be a bit sensitive to noise, but I always was a bit sensitive to noise, but the pain had gone from it. I didn't have to wear my earplugs. I'd forgotten about earplugs. I didn't have to carry them all the time, which is amazing. Tinnitus had eased off. Like, I still have the ringing, the sound, but it wasn't bothering me. Inflammation not apparent in my body, and relief of feeling cold is wonderful, and the headaches were relieved. I was living my life. And none of the above symptoms existed before the 18th of May 2021, when one AstraZeneca injection was administered. And this is the difference since I started on topiramate. And I believe that I have VEXAS or VEXAS type syndrome. So the problem is that when I got to the 200 milligrams, I was upping at my own discretion. I was upping every 2 weeks when the symptoms started to come back. Once I got to the 200, I was doing really well. I was fine. And then about 5 weeks ago, I hadn't really tuned into it, but I was obviously starting to heat up again. And jumpers like this, I was starting to get really warm, and I'd gone back into t-shirts and lighter footwear and stuff like that. But I hadn't really taken too much notice of it because I was still doing stuff. So I was doing pretty well. And then bump, all of a sudden I got a headache, and I had to reach for painkillers because I was doing stuff. I needed to function. And then bang, I went up to 10 out of 10 pain, and I had to take Zomic 2 days running. And I only have to take Zomic if I'm up at a 9 or a 10. It doesn't work at the lower levels. And it did work, but I'm only allowed 6 doses of that a month. So that gave me an awful fright. And next thing, I'm back up 10 out of 10. So I contacted the hospital and the ANP. I had a long talk. That's advanced nurse practitioner. They can prescribe drugs, and they are the people that they liaise with you, and they keep an eye on you, and it keeps the workload from the consultant, but they can't make decisions about new medications and so on. They just keep an eye on you, and they do the updates, but she couldn't make a decision to up my medication. So I'm saying I need to go up to 125. Can I get my prescription upped? So she doesn't come back to me, and she's saying she's going to pass the message on to my consultant. So I don't get any message back, and I'm ringing back, and she's saying, I'm really sorry, I haven't gotten a message back, and this is going on, and then she's going on annual leave, and she leaves me other people's numbers, and I'm ringing, and I get a doctor who doesn't know my case, and at this stage I'm up at 10 out of 10 pain, and I'm running out of tablets, and so I get talking to my pharmacist. Now my GP and my pharmacist are brilliant. I have absolutely no concerns there at all. So as it turns out, I'm on drug payment scheme, so I was due to have my 13th month. I was due to get that anyway, so thank God I was due that, because I didn't even realise. I was trying to figure out how come I have so few tablets. I wasn't due to pick up tablets until the 1st of April, and I had a whole weekend to go through, and I had no tablets. So anyway, I was able to pick up prescription. So they had sent me a prescription for Epilum to get me through, but there was only a couple of days supply in that, and it did absolutely nothing. So I knew myself. So I just said to the A&P, look, I'm going to do it myself. I know this drug is working for me, and I can't stay up at this level. I knew that the inflammation was gone back up again, and that the drug was working for me. I know enough about the human body and how it works, and I was in reflexology for over 20 years, and I was constantly researching and writing stuff up and reading other people's papers and doing a bit of stuff myself and so on, that I know how to research stuff, and I could see what was happening. So I did that, and I broke up some tablets, and I took 125 in the morning, and I took 125 in the evening to get me down really quickly, and here we are. It came down. I got my headaches under control. I got my inflammation under control. All of those things that were starting up again are gone. So I know this medication is working. So here we are, 3 weeks on, still no phone call. I contacted the hospital again this week. The A&P told me the day before yesterday, give me one more day. So obviously she was really trying very hard. Even there were other people that aren't even medical people working on my behalf, and I heard back that their names been mentioned. Their names were there, that they were fighting for me. And here we are 2 days after that. I had spoken to my GP and gave her the details of what was happening, and she emailed and said Aetna has tried this drug in an increased amount, and it has worked. So can you consider upping her prescription? And then I got the phone call after that to say, give me one more day. And that one more day was yesterday. So no phone call yesterday. They were talking about a medication review yesterday, and no phone call yesterday and no phone call today. So obviously that's not going to happen. So what seems to be the situation is that I now have nowhere to turn in Ireland. So I've seen 3 neurologists in Ireland. It's obviously, I'm going to have to go to another country by the looks of it. So I have a prescription with my pharmacist for 200 milligrams a day, 100 in the morning, 100 in the evening. At the moment, I'm giving myself 125 in the morning, 125 in the evening. So basically my prescription isn't going to be enough for me in a matter of a couple of weeks. If my inflammation goes up in 2 weeks, I then go up to 10 out of 10 pain, which means I can't function. And the way I was feeling 4 weeks ago when I went up to that level of inflammation, if you research Vexus, people die. And at that level, I had that level of inflammation for 2 years. And then a month ago, when I went back up to that level of inflammation, I know that my organs won't be able to take it for any length of time. And nothing else has taken the inflammation down. So I'm appealing for anybody who knows any doctors in another country. I'll hop on a plane. It's just that I don't have much time to take that plane ride. I can do a Zoom consultation and hop on a plane and pick up the drugs and bring them home, or, UK, I can go to the UK and pick them up if that's easier. I have a prescription for the drug. It's just the slight increase is the problem. I have 100, so I only need 25s, So that's my predicament. And I'm just not sure how I'm going to get my hands on the 25s just to keep me going, And it's working for me. My body absolutely loves them. And I can't find anybody that will look at me for Vexus. I've had every test known to mankind for inflammation, and all of my inflammation markers are normal. And that's, if you look at Vexus, that's what they say. All the inflammation markers are normal, and then the people die of inflammation. So I've been trying very hard for 2.5 years to speak to somebody in immunology, and I can't get to them. And I don't know if the immunosuppressant drugs would work on me anyway, but the topiramate working. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's my way of looking at things. And for now, I am making funeral arrangements because there are a couple of things that would be very awkward for the people who will be making the arrangements if I don't tidy up some loose ends. So I'm doing those things at the moment as well as looking for a doctor. So if anybody can help me, can get me some 25s of topiramate, I don't think it should be something that should be so difficult considering I'm on the medication anyway. The dosage for other conditions is 400 milligrams per day. So it just seems very, very cruel to not allow me to have a prescription for, the ANP wanted to give me a prescription for 300 per day, but the powers that be said no, or they appear to have said no. Nobody rang me for the last 2 days anyway, when she begged for one more day. So that's the situation I'm in. So anybody willing to help, I'd be most grateful. Thank you and God bless.